We'll look at a few cases in this video where police have been entirely owned. So let's begin. Three police officers were approaching a man, and when he refused to give them his ID, they were shocked. One of the officers pretended not to know that, which is precisely what the man asked him. The officer recognized that the man had knowledge of the law. The cop proceeded and gave his name and badge number. Then the cop questioned the guy whether he had been told to leave. The man had a comeback and asked them if they would interrogate him about what he was doing.
Have you not heard that before?
I've heard it plenty of times. It's just I'm surprised because, well, my name and my badge number is right here. Okay, you see it?
Tibbets?
Yep, 640.
The pen is blocking the number.
Oh.
640?
Yep.
And Dennis, 647.
They continued to exchange words, and then the man proceeded to educate the police, telling them that what he was doing was protected by the First Amendment. The police officer responded that he wasn't concerned about that, but that didn't prevent the man from giving him a free legal lesson, telling him he had every right to record in the library because this is a public area.
This is a public library.
Okay,
I see where this is going.
I want you to answer my question.
I see where this is going.
Were you asked to leave?
I see where this is going.
Were you asked to leave? And did the employees ask you to leave, sir?
No.
Were you
I was not.
Would you like him to leave, sir? Okay.
So security. So let me explain just so you get a. Let me just explain really quick so you guys can understand. So what I'm doing here is a First Amendment protected activity. I'm recording. I know you don't care, sir, but listen. If you violate that in any way and interfere with that,
I'm not violating it. They asked you to leave.
Yeah, but they can't ask me to leave. This is a public library.
In addition, he repeatedly asked for a supervisor. Still, the police ignored him, knowing perfectly that they would be completely taken over by higher authority in a similar manner that this man had owned them. The man then proceeded to question the police, telling them that they couldn't arrest him for trespassing in a public area. The police disapproved, so the man pushed them to trespass him to see what would occur. The police then questioned him about the purpose of his recording. Still, he refused to reveal it until it was released. They continued to argue for a while, and the video came to an end. We don't know what happened in the end, but after witnessing how this man has the answers for everything, we can surely expect that they let him be.
Body cameras on.
What's this thing that you're doing? What are you doing it for?
So,
Like a study or a student?
just because you guys seem real hostile, I'm gonna explain myself ahead of time. Normally, I don't explain myself,
Well, you
but
haven't explained yourself yet.
I told you I'm gathering content for a story, and I'm engaging in a constitutionally protected activity.
For what? What is the purpose?
For what reason?
I'm not willing to disclose until it's published. Until it's published, I'm not gonna disclose it. Yeah.
I mean, I could go up to somebody and say, listen, do you feel uncomfortable or uncomfortable? If they're uncomfortable, you're breaching their peace.
No, that's not true.
These police officers went up to a man, got very close to him, and asked him what he had been doing. The man was visibly displeased and asked one of them for his name and badge number. The man asked the officer to get out of his face. One of the cops asked for his identification, so when the man asked for the reason, the cop answered angrily, saying he was taking pictures of a federal building.
Can I get your identification, please?
Why?
Why? Because you're taking pictures of a federal terminal, which is a Homeland Security issue.
Are you Homeland Security?
Yes.
Seems like you're
Yep.
back at the police department.
That's right.
There's something wrong with
Homeland
exercising
Security
my
is done by
First
everybody. It's done
Is-
by everybody. It's the Homeland Security.
Amendment. Is it a crime
Right.
to exercise my rights on a public sidewalk?
What? To take pictures of a federal...
The policeman continued to ask the man for his ID, even though the man repeatedly reminded him that he was taking pictures from the street. After some explanation, the man asked them what crime they suspected him of committing, to which they replied that they wanted to identify him for any future incident. The man requested them for a reasonably articulable suspicion. The officer remained silent for a while, as though this was the first time he had heard of such a thing. Then he told the guy with the assurance that the building he had recorded on camera was strange.
What crime are you?
You're taking video, which
I'm
might
exercising
might lead to some type of terrorist act, right? We don't know.
you
We don't know that.
I'm with my
How
family.
do you know that?
I'm with I just told you know how you don't know that? Because I told you I've never been here. I'm a tourist. I'm with my family. This is interesting. So I took a picture
and just
from the public sidewalk.
To take your
Listen, I just
just
want
like
to cut
you.
this. I want to make this simple.
The police demanded to examine the man's identification, despite the man's courteous explanation of what had happened, which included giving them his name. The guy clearly rejected to give ID once more, and proceeded to inform the officers about First Amendment protected activities. After much arguing and lecturing, the officers eventually left this man free.
From citizen on the public sidewalk exercising his First Amendment right,
they know
which is
that.
a protected activity.
They know that. That's
So I
why.
understand
That's why
it
you're.
should've ended
That's
right
why
there.
nothing.
It
That's
should've
why
ended-
nothing is happening right now except for
Exactly.
us trying to get your name. That's all.
And I told you my name, David.
Okay. Well, can you, if you show me your identification
I just
again?
told you already.
Well, you're on your way.
Sir,
I don't
I told you
understand what the problem is. Just like you're, you know.
Because I don't show ID unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
In this section, everything escalated right away when a woman asked the police about their probable cause for pulling up on someone's property. To everyone's disbelief, the police were unable to respond, so the woman proceeded to check inside their car and found a laptop. The woman then asked the police what was their reasonable articulable suspicion that her child was committing a crime, was going to commit a crime, or was already committing a crime.
What was your probable cause to roll up to somebody on private property? Especially you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Down with your little fucking blue line fucking gang. Oh, you don't like it? You don't like it? You guys do it to everybody. Go ahead, pull it out. Pull it out. Ooh, let's play fucking flashlight war. What was he doing?
I can't tell you.
Fixing a fucking quad? See what the car really is for. I don't see anything about theft. Sean, this is why you record every time. So I hope you have good PC.
Rather than simply responding to her question, one of the police officers thought he could be hilarious and told the woman that she was a hard person to deal with. The woman verified this and said to him that she would do whatever it took to protect her son. The police really didn't know how to respond to that, and they definitely didn't anticipate that they would be seriously owned and insulted by this kid's mother.
What was your RAS? Your reasonable, articulable suspicion that my son was committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or did commit a crime. What was it? You're damn straight. When it comes to my son, absolutely, I am difficult. So I will fight to the death for my kid. You got me right.
Okay, next. This man was recording the area around him, which included the FedEx establishment. As luck would have it, a security guard approached him and inquired as to what he was doing. When the man refused to answer, the security guard called someone, and we all know that someone was, obviously, the police.
I suggest get a supervisor out here.
If you're on the sidewalk,
I'm asking for a supervisor.
Okay, call him. Call this.
No, you call him. I asked for one. I asked for a supervisor.
Okay.
You're not gonna get me a supervisor.
I'm gonna get you
Okay.
There's no sense in me getting you a supervisor.
Okay. You need to get one so you don't do something stupid.
After some time, a policeman walked toward the man and informed him that he had been contacted regarding his unusual behavior. The man was taken aback and proceeded to clarify that he was on an open facilitation. When the policeman refused to leave him alone, the man asked to speak with a supervisor. Instead of telling the guy to contact a supervisor, the officer advised him to call one himself.
There's no sense in me getting you a supervisor.
Okay. You need to get one so you don't do something stupid.
You obviously understand the law, I guess.
Evidently better than you do about the easement, dude.
Why you gotta swear, man?
Because that's what I do. That's what I do. I'm a grown man. I can swear all day. I'm gonna tell us this is their property, and you don't even know if it is or not. You hadn't even looked, had you?
After that, they became agitated, shouting at one another. The man asked the officer to examine the property limits, which the officer plainly refused to do. In the end, the officer was left with little alternative but to leave the man free. In this first clip, we have this guy whom a police officer stopped. When he asked the officer why he stopped him, the officer refused to tell him that without seeing his ID first, the man had been willing to give his ID to the officer with no questions asked. In fact, the officer was the one who started asking the man a ton of unrelated questions for this stop.
Dilmar Oil Company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been there?
My ass why that is.
Well, I'm just talking to you. I see your shirt there. I'm just asking. Is it wrong to ask you questions about where you work?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what that has to do with the stop.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't want, just casual conversation, that's fine.
Since
I got you stopped here, you're driving 65, and speed limit 70. I'm just wondering what's wrong with me. Are you okay?
He wanted to know what company he worked for and how long he had been employed there. The man gave the police his ID, kinda confused, so he said he was attempting to find out why the cop was questioning him with those random questions. The cop finally revealed the reason for the stop, which was to stop him for driving 65 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone.
You're driving 65 and you know, speed limit 70. I'm just wondering what's wrong. Are you okay?
Other than...
I mean, you okay? I mean, you ain't...
Traveling 5 miles below the speed limit is
Yes,
a
sir.
reason.
I'm just checking on you. That's all I'm doing, okay?
Yes, sir.
You good?
I'm great.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve, you know?
Cop inquired about the man's well-being, and he attempted to persuade the man that he was verifying that everything was okay. Still, it was evident that the man was not buying it. However, the policeman wasn't finished asking the man questions. He asked him where he was coming from, and the man was still perplexed, unsure if it was needed to tell the policeman where he was going and all that stuff. The policeman left, leaving the man wondering. When the officer returned, he gave him a warning, but refused to clarify what the warning was for.
This here's a warning, okay? No court date, no fine, nothing like that. You can throw this paper away when you get to the house. Ain't nothing to really worry about, all right?
Okay, what was the warning for?
All right. Have a good day, all
What
right?
was the warning for, sir? He didn't even say what a warning been for, bro.
The officer wanted to finish things off as soon as possible, as he was aware that he would be unable to explain why he had stopped the man. The man, not being easily distracted, got out of his car and asked the policeman again what the warning was for. This time, the policeman finally replied, saying that it was for violating the speed limit. This baffled the man as well, but the policeman decided not to deal with him anymore and wished him a good day after informing him that he had work to be done.